everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Majestic speaking with another episode of MechWarrior Online here. And today is Patch Note Day, and with it comes the brand new Clan Heavy 75 tonner, the Night GYR, or Night Gear, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I pronounce it Night GYR, and as I like to do with all of my first day unboxing videos, I'm going to be taking out the hero variant, which is JADE KITE, which you see in front of you. Now, not only does it have a unique camo pattern to it with the owl in the front and the blood splats at the hips and chest, but it also has some unique hardpoints and some unique positioning of those hardpoints as well. So before we actually dive into where it differs in comparison to some of the other variants, I do want to point out that this is a completely mastered mech. So it is completely mastered on the skill tree. It has speed tweak, it has cool run, it has kinetic burst. So you're going to be seeing it from an optimal standpoint if you fill out that tree. Now, in comparison to some of the other variants, this variant and the B variant are the only two variants that actually have 4 ballistic hardpoints. Now, whereas the B variant only has those 4 ballistic hardpoints, this variant has the 4 ballistic hardpoints, 2 missile hardpoints, and 2 energy hardpoints. So it's definitely unique in that you can use a full encompassing array of weaponry, mixing and matching what you want to do, mixing up your role out there on the battlefield if you so choose. But it also does not, it's the only variant that does not have a hardpoint in the head. All of the other variants have either 1 energy or 1 AMS hardpoint in the head. So, you know, it has pros and cons, just like all of the variants, so you just have to pick and choose which one is most beneficial to your type of playstyle. But I'm going to be going through JADE KITE today, and first we're going to dive into, obviously, the hardpoints, then the quirk list and everything. We have 4 ballistic, 2 energy, 2 missiles, 0 AMS, and 0 ECM. Now, where it differs, obviously, from, say, an Inner Sphere Heavy is that it has a very limited quirk summary. So, you know, there's a trade-off. Obviously, with, you know, the clan mechs, you have an increased range with, you know, your lasers, and you have the UAC 2s, 5s, 10s, 20s, and, you know, the list goes on and on. But the Inner Sphere usually has that laundry list of quirks to make them appealing as well. So you have to pick and choose your spots whether or not you actually want to take out Inner Sphere versus clan, and at least PGI is being consistent in making the quirk summary pretty limited. But it does still have a couple benefits. ERPPC velocity 25%, missile velocity 10%. It does have external heat transfer bonus of 100% and XP bonus of 2.5%. So, you know, it does cater to a couple weapons in there. That missile velocity quirk is really what I'm going to be focusing in on, because I do want to utilize the ballistics and I do want to utilize that missile velocity quirk as much as possible. Now, that quirk for the missile velocity applies whether I decide to go short-range missiles, SRMs, or long-range missiles, LRMs. So, as you can imagine, if you guys are familiar with how I like to run my mechs out there on the battlefield, I am a skirmish brawler. So you can obviously imagine that I'm going to take those 2 missile hardpoints into consideration from a short-range perspective. Let's dive into the loadout, though, so you can see everything in its entirety. Of those 4 ballistic hardpoints, I'm only able to utilize 3 because I wanted to utilize UAC 5s. So I have 3 UAC 5s, 2 in the left arm and 1 in the left torso. And the reason why I can't use a 4th UAC 5 in the left torso is because with the fixed structure slots and the Clan XL300 engine, when I place the first UAC 5 in there, I'm only left with 2 slots, and the UAC 5 requires 3. So I was only able to fit 3 on there, but then I used that as an opportunity to fill out the rest of this mech. So I catered to the ballistics first. I love using ballistics. So that actually worked out pretty well in the fact that I placed those 2 missile hardpoints, 2 Clan SRM 6s with Artemis, and in the 2 energy hardpoints, 2 clan small pulse lasers. So it does have all of the hardpoints full, except for that 1 hardpoint in the left torso, which I just can't use if I want to keep UAC 5s in there. But it is full from every other perspective. All the armor, as you can see, is full except 2 armor hardpoints in the head. 75 out of 75 tons used, 74 out of 78 slots used, 460 out of 462 armor, again mentioning those 2 armor hardpoints that I took out of the head. 1.33 heat management ratio. Now that is definitely above my minimum threshold that I like to keep of 1.2. It has 12 double heat sinks, 10 internal, and 2 that came with its stock on the engine. That Clan XL300 cannot be switched out So you're kind of left with what you have, and that's really, you can't do anything more than that. It has a 51-point alpha, and it goes almost 70 kph. 69.7 is what it's doing, but it does have jump jets, ladies and gentlemen. 28.1 is the jump jet distance, and those are obviously coming stock, placed in both legs as well. So this mech is certainly very unique. So I really love this full encompassing loadout with that heat management ratio decent. I'm expecting some great things from this mech. So again, 3 UAC 5s, 2 SRM 6s with Artemis, accompanied with 2 clan small pulse lasers. Now, the UAC 5s I could definitely use at range, but once I get close, firing off these UACs to be accompanied with these small pulses and clan SRM 6s with Artemis, it's going to pack a serious punch on the front line. So definitely use these for support, and then everything once we get to the front line to really skirmish, brawl, and lay in some pain to the enemy. So that is the loadout that I placed on it. Again, completely mastered. Let's take a look at the modules, and then we'll hop into our round of gameplay. Advanced seismic sensor, just to see if there are any mechs around me that I should be aware of. I do not need to get cored or pinged up from the back without knowing that someone is within that 250 meters of range for the sensors. As for the weapon modules, UAC 5 cooldown and Clan SRM 6 cooldown. I wanted to go with the cooldowns on those because I want to keep firing them off, and if I have a beneficial heat management ratio of 1.33, I expect that I can utilize those 2 weapons in particular a lot more if I want to continuously fire them. Radar deprivation, obviously I want to be completely hidden. If I go on the front lines, I do not want to be targeted too long by anything. Obviously only going 69.7 kph. If I dip out or I want to get out of into cover or something like that, I want to be completely hidden. So I don't want to take any more extra damage than I so need to. But as for the consumables to accompany with that cooldown and the heat management and the weapons that I'm utilizing, cool shot 9x9 and improved artillery strike. So I definitely want to use that cool shot to keep my heat management efficient, and the improved artillery strike just to help my team if we need to get into a more beneficial position, maybe lay down some cover and help us move around. But that is my loadout for this guy. First day of its release, and I'm very excited to take it out there on the battlefield for you guys. So let's hop into the queue right now and see what kind of damage we can do with the brand new Clan Heavy Night Gyre. Alrighty guys, our first and only round of gameplay is going to take place on Tourmaline Desert. 97 degrees Celsius is the ambient temperature. We are playing Conquest. Now, one thing I did want to make note of before we actually start the gameplay for this video is the fact that I am using the stock Omnipods for the Jade Kite. So this doesn't include any Omnipods from any of the other variants out there, but definitely stay tuned because I do plan to customize my mechs even more. But I wanted to at least leave it stock so you guys know what you're getting if you decide to get the Jade Kite. It is the most, obviously the unique mech, I guess you could say, of all of the variants. So I at least wanted to let you guys know what you're getting and what's possible if you stuck with this loadout in particular. From an Omnipod perspective, at least.
We stand a good chance.
Elaborate. We're going to hop down here with the rest of our assaults. So we've got a Sleipnir in front of us.
Artillery strike online.
Another guy next to us. Not sure who that was.
Target acquired.
Mad Dog's getting some fire in. The Stormcrow looks like he wants to get a little aggressive.
Target destroyed. New target acquired.
And Kodiak. I think I got shot by my own teammates in the back, so that kind of stinks. But we're going to move up a little bit with this crab here. We can get Echo down.
Warning, incoming missile.
Somebody fast.
Pretty epic, the fact that this thing has jump jets. Don't have to worry about moving, like going around any objects. Just run right over them. look at the focus of the enemy. A lot of ish going off here. There he goes. Getting an assault down that early is clutch. It's a lot of tonnage to lose that early in the battle.
Artillery strike online.
I'm just gonna keep firing in on him if he's not gonna do anything. He's just gonna sit there. Yeah, buddy. And a headshot! Wow. Okay, gotta back up a little bit before they take my the rest of my guns off here. Now they are winning the cap advantage right now, but I'm not gonna be too worried about that just yet. It looks like we have the advantage from the kills. Yes.
Acquired. Fuel at 25%. Heat level critical. Target destroyed.
This thing is an absolute monster. Holy crap, dude. And look at, like, the damage. Like, obviously a lot of the damage was focused on my torso.
Ultra autocannon
Holy
ammo
crap!
at
This thing just
25%.
turns and starts slinging ammo everywhere. It's unreal. Do we see anything down here in the pit? Yes, a bounty hunter.
Heat level critical.
Oh my goodness! This thing is just savage. Absolutely frickin' savage, dude. And we're gonna go for whoever's at Gamma. Okay, so it is a Locust. Not really sure which way he's gonna go. Be a couple of different directions, but we're gonna hopefully cut him off at some point. And utilize this awesome firepower. It feels like a lot more than a 51-point alpha. I'll tell you that.
Target
And
acquired.
there he is, Lima. Looks like he's cored up already. He's not gonna last too long if he keeps running out in the middle of nowhere by himself. Let's see which way he decides to go. Nope, it looks like he's sticking pretty close to our friends here. Very nimble, very quick.
Target destroyed.
There he goes. Excellent, excellent round of gameplay. Wow.
Thanks for the save.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
He was face raping me.
973, 5 kills, 11 components destroyed, almost 1,000 damage, almost 600,000 C-bills, almost 4,000 XP earned. Holy crap. Topping the leaderboards there. Man, I don't even know if this thing is freaking fair to take out there on the battlefield. It's just an absolute animal, and I had a blast playing it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of MechWarrior Online. Again, this is the Night GYR Jade Kite Hero variant with 3 UAC 5s, 2 SRM 6s, and 2 small pulse lasers. An absolute blast to play with. If you guys, first impressions, this thing is tanky, it's beefy, it's got a very, very solid loadout. Hard points, positioning of the hard points are pretty optimal. And it definitely fits the role of a skirmish brawler in case that is your type of playstyle out there on the battlefield. But that's going to do it for this episode of MechWarrior Online. Please leave a comment in the section below if you enjoyed it. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Please give me any feedback. I love hearing about the feedback that you guys have for not only this video, but for the channel in general. I'm constantly trying to improve it as much as possible, and if you want to see multiple perspectives on this mech or any other mech in this game in particular, I really do want to hear about it. I want to get feedback from you guys. I really appreciate every ounce of support you've given to me so far. And this mech was just so much fun to play out there on the battlefield. It's in the class that I like to play with, the heavies. It's bulky, it's tanky, it's got a lot of firepower, especially up front on the front lines. And as demonstrated, hopefully you guys get that from, this is how it is once it's mastered. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a curve there. Obviously, it's not going to run as efficient when you're trying to master it and everything from, the initial phase, but you will get there with it. So don't just stop where you are and think that it's a lost cause. It's 70 kph isn't much to brag about, and it's that's how much you're gonna go from an optimal standpoint. So it's not gonna get much better than that. But definitely take it from the perspective that hopefully you guys take it from the perspective that I hopefully brought to this video. I thank you guys so much again for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care, guys.